All right, guys, good morning. So let's continue for our today class. Today we're gonna look at the update and delete part, right? But before that update and delete, I just want to talk about few things, okay? So let me expand. Okay, so in the T3 stack, right? See, we have to understand how this work, okay? We have to follow their uh, design pattern, right? The structure, their structure way of working, okay? So normally in any web application, full stack web application, right, we're gonna have like crud operation, create, read, update, delete, right? You connect with your database, so you will use Prisma or Drizzle, ORM, something, right? Then you have database Postgres or any other database, MySQL, whatever Prisma can support, right? You can use that. Okay. So Prisma is just a library to make things easy, connecting to database, creating table by writing just schema, right? So a lot of headaches is like simplified, right? With Prisma, we just write simple. Once you like install Prisma, right? You just write the schema like this. What exactly you want to do, right? For example, in our case, we're creating a topic, right? Later you can add the node for each topic. That is again like writing again, right? But for now, let's finish this crud operation for topic. So we create a topic, we delete, update, right? And then the new topic, then we have delete and update, right? And we displaying, okay, reading also. So when you create this like table, right, will be added, this data will be added in the database. From there you're going to read and display in the, you can just read all the topic, right, and display in your website. Next, there will be button to update and delete, right? So for all this, you have database, you have front end, even creating, you have a HTML form, right, where you put something and click add button. That information will go inside the database through API. So the point is in T3 stack, how we write API, right? That is the point, okay? For all operation, create, read, update, delete, we're gonna have API, okay? So let's look at that API, right? We have database schema here already with Prisma. We're just gonna look at the API. So in T3 app, you have to go to the server. When in the latest one, right, you will get app section also, where you're going to write all your routing like routes, right, about page or any other page, okay? It has API already. So if you're going to get authentication or anything else, right, any API will be here, okay? TRPC work on also based like it has the all route catch API right here. Look at this. Okay, so this will catch any route. So its endpoint like API slash TRPC slash something, right, will be handled here. Okay, I mean these things happen, right? Let's not worry how it happens. That will be like advanced things to learn, right? Like keep learning for long times, then you're gonna figure out. The only thing we have to understand is you can write the page here like any route, localhost 3000 slash node, right? And I'm gonna get this page, okay? This I can delete. I mean, we are not using, I just use different way, right? So let's delete that. No need for that. So you have this page where you can, like add the form to add topic and display all the topic, right? Fine. That is all we are doing. So if I go back here and then localhost 3000, so route will be slash topic, right? Topics, only topic, okay? It did not work. Oh, sorry, note. Okay, not topic, but there is note. I think we should have right topic, but let's keep it note right here. So now this is the first component, adding the topic, right? And second component is list of topic. Okay. So this is our route, right? With the page, and there is two component, adding topic and the list of all the topic. Fine. These components are inside the component folder here, topic list and node, right? Okay, fine. So that is done. The next thing is look at the API, right? How we exactly write API for our application. So in the server, always now, right? Once you install, you just go to the server here in the API, right? In the API, you have routers. We write API in form of routers, right? So in the API, you have root file and the second one is router, right? Inside here, you write API for each schema, right? Whatever schema, let's say user, you have to create API for user. Then you just go here and create maybe file user, right? Like this. And then you start writing your code inside here. So let's look at the topic API. Basically, you have to import these two things. There will be also, if something is, what do you call that? Not protected, right? So what we call client, I believe, not public public procedure, right? Public. Okay. If something you want to get data without login, right? Then you can use public procedure and then write your schema with public procedure. Okay. But we are not using that. That's fine. So there is three function, right? Create TRPC router, protected procedure, and one is public procedure, right? So first you have to use create TRPC router, means use this function to write your API for anything, right? For user or topic or whatever. So in this one is topic. So topic router, and then you call this function create TRPC router. Inside, now you're gonna write all your crud operation, right? So see, this is object. You define your API in form of object, right? Object has property and the value here. That's it. Property and the value, right? Okay. Property and the value, and delete again property and the value, right? So first is create property, the protected procedure. Procedure two types, protected and public, right? So we are using protected. This will make sure user, logged in user can only create something. If you're not logged in, you cannot, right? It will, this API will not work. Okay. So in here, you call input function and mutation function, right? When you are creating something, when you are dealing with a database, you have to use mutation function. So input, you define the schema for your, like when you create, you're gonna send some data from the form, right? Like titles or whatever you're gonna send. Form may be long, there will be a lot of URL, image, whatever, right? You're gonna need a schema for that. So you write here. Even you can write outside and then call that file, right? And add here, but even you can define here itself. This is one field. You just put comma and write another one, right? Because this is in the form of object. So you can add many value. So you define the schema there. Okay. Next is mutation. Mutation is basically now the function to deal with your database, right? So mutation takes callback function. Inside, see, this is a arrow function, right? Basically arrow function that we can call back function, because the function called inside mutation function. Mutation is a function. We execute mutation. It runs another function inside, right? This function gonna have two things. The CTX, you can call it property, and input, right? Input is whatever inside the job. It validates all the data from job, right? You have access to the value. equivalent to this one. Okay, like titles is here, so you're gonna get input dot title, right? Later, when you pass the title, right, it will automatically access that input dot title. It has access to that value automatically. So CTX is what? This access to our DB, right? Our Prisma is Prisma. What do you call that? Uh, Not that. What is the DB, right? Client. Okay, Prisma client. DB is this Prisma client. That is what we are exporting, right? You can name it anything. You can call it Prisma here. You can call it DB. So CTX has access to that Prisma client, and from Prisma client you have access to your database table. Now inside the table you can call the methods, different methods like create or update or delete, right? We can call that. So we are creating. So when you create, this is the same thing we used before, like you pass the data as object, and then whatever information you need to send to the table and add here, right? So we have title dot input dot title, and then even we have access to session. So see, this object has access to your DB and also your session because you are logged in, right? And we need to store the user ID also, the user who created this topic. Okay, so from the session we can access that. Done. So that is create. Get all same thing now, right? Protected procedure dot query. Now when you're getting something, you're gonna call this query function, right? Here you don't have to deal with the input validation, just getting something, right? Already available data. So query also takes take callback functions basically, and same thing, await ctx db dot topic, find many, and where user id equal to, you just pass that user id, right? And you have access to that topics here. So when I call this function get all, I will get, we are returning that topic, right? So I have access to that topic automatically. Next will be update. In the update, again, we have to deal with the title, right? In the update, you're going to need ID and the title because you want to update one of the topics, means you must need the ID. Which topic? So you need ID, right? Because when you update, okay, I think something went wrong. Okay, so I will continue, guys. Let's go through this. So same with the update. In the update, you always need ID. So we are passing ID also. So that's why we're validating that ID, right, with the Zod. And of course, we're gonna update title. Every time I said when you deal with the like database, right, adding or maybe deleting or creating, basically updating or creating or deleting, you're gonna need mutation function, right? You have to pass callback in the mutation, okay? And same thing now, return ctx db topic update, right? And you pass the id and then the data, okay? That is update. In case of delete, also you're just gonna need id, right? So you can validate that id and then return db topic delete function and pass the id and it will delete your data. Fine. So that is all the API we have, right? So let's look at our code now. Okay, so if we go back to the in the app right here and the node, so the form is here, topic form and the topic list, right? So in the topic form we are creating and topic list we are basically displaying, right? So yesterday we talked about the topic form. You can just look at, I will just go and look at the list today for update and delete. Okay, so in the component, go to the list. So here is our table, right? This is what we are displaying. Table, title, created, add, action, right? In that table you have the topics, save topics, and then map through that, and we're displaying the title, created, add an action. Okay, so what we have done is we just added the logic here, right? Logic like conditional rendering. Okay, why? Because I want to, for example, let me show you, right? First, let me go back here. Let's say I want to delete this. This will be simple. Okay, just a function to delete, right? That's fine, it deleted. But I want to edit this one, right? So I will click edit. See, if I cancel, I just have the text title, right? When I edit, see the input, I'm displaying the input field and then adding the value to the input field, right? So there is conditional rendering. So what is the condition now, right? The ID. If there is edit ID, then you render this input field and add the title, right, in that default value. Okay, and also display this button if, like, save and cancel if there is edit ID. So edit ID, when you will get edit ID? By clicking this, right? Edit. That ID will be saved in our hook, use state hook. When the hook has the new value, then the UI will update automatically based on the hook value, right? And then if I update here, whatever I can add and save, and you see it just updated, right? So let's look at that. The first, what I'm going to do is you must need API, right, to access the API of that node. Okay. Next one, use state hook to hold some data, right, within our UI. To get all nodes, we use this yesterday. We have seen that, right? You're gonna get data is loading and error and all that, right? You can get that. You're gonna call utils from the API, right? Also, so what is utils now? What is this use utils function, right? So if you go here, you can read, like API use utils. Okay, this is a TRPC hook used to access utility functions provided by the TRPC client. So the TRPC will provide some function, right, that is inside this utility, use utility hook. Okay. Okay, so let's continue, guys. So what I was talking is about this format, right? I just explained that earlier, but this is the mostly important one is edit. When you click edit, based on that edit ID, you will get this input field, and there is a value, right? And you can make change here and the save, right? And it will mutate, it will make change, and it will display the new updated value automatically. Fine. So, and delete is simple, just click delete, right? So let's look at the code now. I was talking about use utils hook. So this is the TRPC hook. It will give you some function, right? Like invalidating queries or refetching queries or setting queries. These are some like function you will get from there. So when you see something, basically just remember it will do something, right? Refetch means it will fetch the data, right? After deleting, you want to fetch the data, you can use that function. Okay. Invalidate, right, means the cache for the specific queries, forcing them to refetch means, let's say you delete something, right? So this function will force the UI to re-get the updated data and then display, right? Basically update the cache memory again with the new data. So that's the useful functions. Okay, fine. Let's go back to the note, not note here, right? Topic list here. Okay. So that's how you get the data. We have the get all function, right? Or API for that. This is used for displaying, right, all our list. We call this use utils to get some function from the TRPC, right? Now let's look at the delete topic. Okay. So there is two things: mutation for deleting and updating, right? First, what happen is you write like what you want to do, right? When you delete something, okay? So you want, when you delete something, you want to send the ID, right? So you just write the variable, or let's call it function, right? Basically, this holds the function, this function, okay? You call API topics delete, you call the API and use mutation function, right? Inside, when the delete is success, then you call another function that will call utils topic invalidate, means get the data again and update our UI, right? When there is delete, get the data again and update UI. So that is something you have to write when you're deleting. Now on delete, you're gonna call this function, right? So let's go back here. Uh, Handle delete here. So this is the second function for delete, right? This function will take ID and then handle delete topic, which is here. You call that, uh, and then you call the mutate function, right? And pass the ID. So what mutate is doing is basically this, based on this function, right? Because this function already calling API, and then when the delete is done, it will update the data, right? It will fetch the new data, okay? That is what this function is doing on the top. So now how you gonna activate, or how you gonna activate this function? Like how you gonna make this function run, right? So you will click the button there, you're gonna call this function, you gonna send the ID to this function. That ID will be passed to this delete topic by calling the mutate function. Mutate function is basically, this is used for activate, right? Make your API run, take action, right? So, and this just need ID, that is all. Because remember, in the uh, let's go back to our API right here. In the server, what is server? API routers topic, and if you look at this delete, it needs, it needs the ID, okay? And then here is the mutation function to, you know, go and delete, right? So this is the process you have to remember. All this crud operation, if you, you know, mostly you will do the same thing, right? Copy paste. Only thing is this schema will change a lot of maybe data, right? Sometimes, okay, but the process will be same. So let's go back here. So you get the top delete topic now, delete part done. Let me handle delete, right? So here on the button, in the button, right, unclick callback function. Here, what is the delete here? Handle delete function, and you pass the ID. So when you click the button, it will basically trigger the delete API, and it will delete, right? And it will refresh the data, and everything is done, right? The next is update. Update one, let's look at the function first, and then we're gonna go through the UI, right? So in the function of update, same thing, you have to write mutation first, use the use mutation hook. So you call it, you store in the variable API topic update. From the topic API, right, you call the update function, and the use mutation hook to do something, to just run this, right? What we are doing here, unsuccess, so it's gonna get a unsuccess property, right? When that is true, you're gonna call the callback function. This callback function will first, you know, like after updating, it will refresh the data. That is first thing. One more thing, we are setting the id, right, and title somewhere, so you want to make that empty also. So let's look at this. Set editing topic id, right here. The hook, use state hook, right? What is that hook here? So this is just use state hook, that is string or null, right? So the in it's null, but when you set, it will get the id. When you set the id, right, it will get the id. When id is there, then you want to do something, right? Also, you're going to set title. When you edit, you want to set the title here, right? You want to store the value to do something, okay? So, and this is empty right now. This is empty, right? This is null. So we got this two use state hook, basically variable to hold some data, right? When to hold data, that's what we're gonna look at just now. So see on the bottom here, right? You have handle edit. What is that? Let's see. So with update topic, we look at the update topic. We talk about that, right? This function we're going to use later. So handle, you're going to call this handle edit function, right? This is a function. It will receive the topic. That topic going to have two things, ID and title. Okay. Then that ID and title is set inside this hook, right, on the top. Set edit topic ID to topic dot id, right? You set that, and also you set the title. So this is just setting the id and title on the hook, use state hook here, right? Just store in the variable. That is one thing happens. Now you're gonna handle the update, right? So the handle update function needs id. You're gonna send the id, right? If, let's say, now when you're gonna update, okay, this function gonna receive id, okay, this gonna receive the id when you update, okay, you're gonna receive the id, right? When you click update, this function will receive id. Then if, let's check, when you want to update, right, if the title is not empty, okay, if the title has some value, then only update. Again, update topic that muted, same like delete, right? And you're going to send id and the title. Remember I said edit title is holding some value here. Okay, so that's it. This will make the update, right? Now pay attention, okay? This id, right, is very useful to render dynamic now here. So let's see what I'm talking about. In this table, right, in this table, in the table data, right, in the row here, if there is edit topic id that is equal to topic id, this topic id, right, then you display input field and set the value, right, this value to the title value. If there is id, that means you want to edit, just call this one and add the value of your title, edit title, right? Because there is already title, you just call that and use it here, okay? So it will display the input field when you click on edit, right? If there is no, if this is not matching, or if these are not matching, then you just call this topic title, right? Just display the title, normal title. What I mean is, when you click on edit, it will change the use state hook. It will create the id, right, in the hook use state. And if there is a new hook, or basically if there is new id, right, update id, then that's why it renders input field with that text the value inside. Okay, now you make change again, right? So when I'm typing here, what happened? That means setting. See that when you're typing, right, you are resetting this value, set edit title. Okay, you are resetting the value inside this use state, you are resetting the value here. Look at this. Set edit title, right? You are setting the title here, okay? When you type something. Fine. So let's I mean we now understand, right, how you're gonna uh like when you click edit button, there will be edit topic ID, and then it will display the input field if that is true. Else there is just a normal title, right? Fine. Then you are displaying the date, that is okay. Here is the button, right? Like how you getting that save and cancel when you click the edit button. That means again same logic. If there is editing topic ID, then you display these two button for save and cancel. If there is no ID matching, then you just delete edit and delete button, right? So so in this button now, right, you calling the handle update function. If you are saving, you can call this handle update function when you save, right? Or you want to cancel, then you call it set edit topic ID, right, to null when you cancel, because sometimes you just want to cancel. Then make sure you set the ID to null, right, on our use state hook, so that we go back to the normal, right, normal like page. Here, if I see, if I want to cancel this, I just want to go get back to the normal, right? Means I set the ID of my use state to null, okay? If I click edit, that means I set the ID of my use state to this edit ID, right? This item ID, okay? So this setting ID is important. So when you handle update, you're gonna just pass the ID and it will do the job, right? We're calling that function here handle update. What is that? Handle update function. That's it. It will do the job. Handle edit function. This one is just updating the ID and the title. That is all right. So that happens when you click the handle edit right here. When you click this edit button, what happened? You need to get that value, from the title, right? That value. When you click this, you're gonna pass the topic, that particular topic, right, to this function. So handle edit function here. It will gonna get topic. That topic has already ID and title, right? So you just set now of your hook, this hook ID, and also set the title in the beginning when you click the edit button, and that's how everything working, right? So the important is, like important thing here is this one mutation. Again, this mutation for update. These are the normal use state hook, right? Just create the hook, and then you can use the later here for updating. When you click the button edit, then you can call it like save, right? When you call the save for edit, then you call this function. Okay, so that is all I have, right? Now in the similar manner, right, if you use this in the similar manner, you can create for anything, okay, any schema, right? Update, delete, create, update, whatever you want to create. Basically you have to write in this form. In the router you write your API, then you call it in this format, right? So that is all I have, guys, for this. Sentence. Okay, so if you get any question, right, let me know. If you want more, like, do some project, maybe one project with this, then we gonna maybe work on, right, in the future, if you want. If not, what we will do is tomorrow, right, tomorrow we're gonna work on the SEO, and then we'll see next week. We might maybe start the our one project I said, right, for the, what do you call that, maybe social media side. Okay, so let's work on that. and try to get more understanding, right, on our Next.js, Prisma, uh, SAT-CNs, Tailwind CSS, understand how the server actions, a lot of things in the Next.js work, right? So let's get that done in maybe 1 to 2 weeks time. Hopefully one, maybe two, maximum 2 weeks, right? And then we'll see. Maybe we will look at something else to do again. And also because you guys need time to work on your project as well, so we'll finalize that how we can work on. Okay, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow again. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Let me stop here.